Just a minute. So we are going to discuss about Node.js is an event-driven programming. Okay, one of the feature in Angular Node.js is event-driven programming. So yesterday we saw about the features, right? The first concept is like how this sorry, I'm thinking something. So what we did yesterday? Node.js data go to build. Yeah, Node.js is an asynchronous programming. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about another feature called event-driven programming. Okay, so basically, first what we need to understand is Node.js is a single-threaded application. Okay, I can say Node is a single-threaded application. Single-threaded means it can execute an instruction at a time. That's it. Okay, but then how you are going to achieve this? Executing other functions. Okay, so it's supporting a concurrency via the concept called event and the callbacks. We discussed that. We have a callback functions in JavaScript. This is one of the important concepts in Node.js. Another one is events. Using these events also, it's going to be controlled. Okay. Now let's go and see what is this event-driven programming. We already saw the asynchronous programming yesterday. Asynchronous means it's not going to depend on the previous instruction. Once previous instruction is started, then it's not waiting for that. It's going to execute the next one asynchronously. Okay. Now coming to the other part, event-driven programming. Node.js is going to use events heavily. Okay, and it is one of the most important point. We can say reason. Okay, the Node.js is pretty faster. We are discussing Node.js is pretty faster. One of the main advantage because it is a faster because we are using events in this. Okay, if you compare with Angular, if you compare with any other framework, Node.js is a pretty faster because here it's going to use an events concept. Okay, whenever a Node.js is going to start the server, okay, it's simply initiating its variables first of all. So whenever we are writing a program, we are going to write var gulp is equal to require gulp, something like that, right? It's going to initiate it, and the function is going. It's going to wait for the event to occur. I said gulp.task. Task is an event. Okay. In that, you are going to pass an event. When that event is triggered, immediately your callback function is executed. I'll show you that example. Okay. So let's go and see how we are going to. If you want to have some events in your module and you want to control the events, let us take example. I'm going to take a JS file. So yesterday what we did, where let us take a small example, gulp is equal to gulp, and I'm going to write gulp.task. This is task is an event. How this for this event we are going to give an instruction like app server, something like that. So we are going to initiate this. We are going to use this event in the command prompt using gulp space app server. That means this event is triggered, then immediately this task will execute, and in that you are going to have some callback function. Here you are going to have your logic. Okay, this is what we are event-driven programming. So let's try to create our own event. I want to create just like gulp.task. I want to create my own event. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do, first of all, we need to set up that events environment in our local host, local machine. So what I can do is that, okay, I'm going to take event require, there is a package called events in npm. Okay, this is basically we are importing a events module from npm. We are going to get that npm package, I mean events package from the npm, and we are going to download it to your programming. Now I want to create an emitter, event emitter. Creating an event emitter. So I'm going to say that event emitter, sorry, is equal to, I can go for new events dot, okay, because events dot, okay, event emitter, event emitter, capital letter. So event emitter is there inside the events module package. So we are just importing, we have just created a new instance and we are going to update in the variable event emitter. Now you can bind an event, right? Bind an event for event emitter, I can say, or else you can handler or something. So what I can do is event emitter, okay, dot on some event request. This is event name, and I'm going to say event handler. Getting my point? How this is happened? Let us take a small example. See, this is a syntax. I'm sorry. This is a syntax I'm going to explain you. Let me try to comment all the stuff. Okay. And here I'm going to write a small program. And in this, what I'm going to do, this is common, var variable, and this is common, event emitter. So once event emitter is created, then what I'm going to do, I want to handle it. Okay, event emitter is equal to new emitter. Now I can create connection. Okay, I'm going to check for the connection. And then connection is equal to, I can use some function here. Okay, and in that I'm going to say I want to use console.log of, or this will be little bigger application, I think. Let me try to change this, because this will be a big application, you may get confused, so I'm not going to take this. So before going to the next step, right, let me try one second, please. So I'll write it simple way. So on, what I can say is this is something like site. Okay. Here I'm going to take some function. So that function I'm going to make where I can use my event handler is equal to function of. Okay, I'm just taking a function, and inside I'm going to say console.log of hello, this is site. Okay, now when on, suppose I'm going to give an event called gulp. Instead of that, I'm using site. Okay, if this is happened, then immediately this function is going to be handle that. So let me try to write the gulp program here. Yes.
Thanks. Can I know like what is the functionality of event emitter actually? So
I'll tell you. Wait. Here I'm going to have a gulp. We are going to get it, and I'm going to write gulp dot task. Let us take, if you want to trigger this gulp, right? So we are going to have some event for this. It's going to trigger it, right? Okay. We are going to have I can explain you. Right. When event triggers, that is what event emitter means. Let us say example, I'm going to start a car. Okay, so this is an event, start a car. When this is going to be start, immediately I want to start my engine. Car need to start my engine, right? So in the same way, coming to the programmatical way, I'm going to say gulp dot task. Yesterday program, I'm going to say gulp dot task. I'm giving them task name, and I'm going to use some function here when this task is going to be triggered. That means we are triggering an event in the command prompt with gulp space the task name. When immediately this event is going to be triggered because of this command. So then what happening here? The event is going to have event is creating here with your task, and when we are triggering it, event emitter will give an action to for that command. You're getting my point, right, Rakesh? So event emitter on this event. Let's go to the JavaScript. You'll get more idea. I have something like HTML, and I'm going to have a script. And in this, I'm going to write document dot get element by ID, something like 1 dot on click. That means we are going to trigger an event on click. When you are going to click on it, it need to emit something. It need to execute something. So that is what emitter is going to do. Event emitter. So on click event is triggered, then immediately it's going to trigger this emitter. We define that emitter here. What they need to do when that action is created, when that action is initiated, I can say. Now see, I'm going to execute it. So for execution, I'm just using event emitter dot emit execute that task. I'm going to say sign. Okay, I can remove this. Now, if you want to run it, just open your CMD, and you can simply run node space. What is that? App. Then immediately you are getting hello. This is Sai. When this JS is triggered, here we have an event. We are executing this event. We are emitting that event. When we are emitting it on particular event, this event is already having the emitter for it. What is the execution part we need to do for this event? Like this, you can create n number of events, and you can do that particulars. I can say Sai 1, 2, 3, 4, and all are having the same handlers. So you can execute Sai. Let us take example. This is also 1, 3, 4. Two. You can say 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And I'm going to say, so each one having a different tasks. 2, 3, 4. 4. Now I'm just running 1 and 4. I'm just executing 1 and 4. I'm not executing anything else. Just clear and then Node.js, and you see Psi 1 and Psi 4. You have 2, 3 also, but we are not triggering that event. We are not emitting that event. Emit is nothing but trigger. When you are triggering this event, we need to have some functionality. That functionality is going to have this one. Clear, Rakesh?
Yeah, it's clear.
Any other questions, Kavya, Praveen, Hemant? So emitter means, let us take we have a different events, blur, focus, here, click, right? So on particular event, which functionality need to execute? That is what we, created this. See, then I got a question. Can you explain it again? Okay. See, I'm just taking an button. Okay. And for the, it is a normal JavaScript base. I'm just taking this is my video, and here I'm going to say click me. So here I'm going to say btn dot on click. I'm going to take a function, and here I'm going to write alert. Hello btn. Okay. Now run this program, and now see when I'm clicking on it, it's triggering some event. When it's triggered, we got hello button. This is a function. That means this button is, I'm going to bind some event for it. Event name is click. When it's triggered on click, right? That means internally in the JavaScript already when this event is defined, which is nothing but click. If any element is going to be triggering on click, that's the reason we have on click, then immediately execute this function. That is what it's saying. In the same way, if you have an input field, type is equal to text, name is equal to something like uname or something, value is empty as of now. I'm going to take ID is equal to IND, INP or IND. Yeah, INTP input. Then I'm going to say same. So this time, this ID, I'm going to change it to INTP, and event is on key up. Then I'm executing that event here, and I'm going to say event dot which. So which means which keyboard the key we are going to press. Keyboard may you have A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Different function keys, numbers. You have a different numbers. So which number we are going to trigger? Open your F12, go to the console, clear everything, refresh it again. Now see, I'm going to click on, press on A, you got 65. See the console, S, D, F, 65, 83, 68, 70. Now I'm going to click on space, 32, enter, 13, escape, 27. Each keyboard each key is going to have a different value. That is triggering on key up when you're going to key up. That means this key up event is already binded inside, already defined inside the JavaScript program. These are all predefined events, right? In the same way, coming to your Node.js, you already have some predefined events in the Node.js. Let us take example gulp, grunt. Whenever you are trying to use the packages, you are trying to import it and you are going to use it, right? Now, in that same way, we are trying to create our own event now. Okay, so that's the reason. What if you want to create your own event, right? First of all, we need to import our events package, and then you need to, create an instance of event emitter. Event emitter means on what are the new custom event you want to create. You want to find some action for that event, right? So that is what event emitter is going to do. Okay, now I'm taking a first event emitter functionality. That means, okay, take first functionality and the second function, third function, and the fourth function. I just define your functions. Now, on which event we need to trigger which function? That is what my concern. Now, coming to here, event emitter dot on. Let us take example click. Trigger this event function on here. Trigger this function. So it is defined in your JavaScript. Now we are going to change it in our custom way. So if anyone using the event called Sci1, then immediately my event handler 1 will execute. Okay. In the same way, if Sci2 is executing, then event handler 2 is executing. 1 second. Next, Sci3, event handler 3 is executing. Sci4, event handler 4 is going to execute. Now, I'm triggering the event using event emitter dot emit of Sci. It's executing that event. Then if you go to the console command prompt and to run it, you're able to get that. Hello, this is Sci1, hello, this is Sci4. Got it, Kavya? So using this event emitter, you can create your own custom events. Going forward, we are going to use this. Don't worry, we are going to use this events in more useful way. And yeah, now you got what is an event emitter. So in Node.js, every event is defined in this way. So that's what event-driven programming. It's little faster. Okay, it's simply works. Okay, now what next? I can go for file systems. Let us take example in the Node.js. I want to read a file, write a file, delete a file. Okay, using Node.js, I want to create a file inside some folder, or I want to delete some folder. I mean, delete file from a folder, or update that folder, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to make. Let me close this, guys. I will share you this code. Anyways, I'm going to say this is event emitter. So examples you may get in a clear idea. That JS is for event emitter. Now I'm going to take another JS. This is for file system. .js. Okay. This is also Node.js programming. So if you want to use this file system, right, you need to use where fs is equal to require fs file system. Okay. You can use a single quote or double quote. Anything is fine. Now what I want to do is I'm going to create a text file here. Let us take example samples Inside, I'm going to create a new text file, some what is that, input.txt, and inside I'm going to say hello. This is file reading using file system, Node.js file system. Okay, reading from using Node.js file system. Now, here if you want to read a file, right? So we already created fs, we imported it. Now I'm going to say fs dot read file. This is a method. Which file you want to read? I want to read. I have a file inside a samples folder, samples slash, what is the file name? Input.txt. Okay, comma, function of, and in this function you need to pass two parameters. One is array, if you have anything else you can get the data. So array is nothing but if you have any array, when you are executing this file system, it will displace that array. If not, okay, data, it's going to retrieve what is the message we have inside this input text. What is the message we have? Hello, this is a file reading from using Node.js file system. This message is going to be get into the data. Now see, if error, then you can say, I'm going to put a console.log. Okay, I can go for error. What error you got? Some people will write like this. Some people will write throw error. This is also fine. If any error, throw error. It's going to show that error in the command prompt. And here I'm going to say if nothing is there, then we can go for console.log of data. Okay, so retrieve data. This is reading a file from directory. Okay, throws error. Okay, now node space, what is the file system name? I mean file sys enter. Now see, it's giving a buffer 4865 something. It's representing, I mean, it's going to retrieve the data as a binary language. So what I'll try to do, I'm trying to add some space starting and ending also. I'm just adding white spaces over there. And now run it again. You got, hello, this is my file reading. See here, this is file reading using Node.js file system. Now this time I'm going to change the content here. Hey, this is John from USA. Yeah. And now go back, fill everything. See, you got that message. Hey, this is John from USA. Yeah. That means what it's going to do? It's reading a file from an folder, and it's going to show you the data. What data we have inside the text file. This is what reading a file. I got a question, guys, but no one is asking me. In the previous example also, I used where event is equal to require event. Here I'm using where fs is equal to require fs. But I didn't install anything, but it's working. Right? How it's working? Anyone? Any idea? No, no, sir, not inbuilt. Previously, when I worked with some other trainings, right, I did it installed globally, -z. So when you're going to install a package, like these type of packages, you can go npm install. I used fs-z globally. Okay, then -z means global means it's going to install globally in your operating machine. So once it is installed, you can use that package anywhere in your folders. Okay, so you need to know where it's stored when I'm going to create it, right? You need to go to your C drive, users, Vino, and here I have my, where is this? Users, you have, not sure. See npm.rc, I'm not seeing the folder here. You'll have the folder here, node modules. Whatever you're trying to install globally, that will be installed in this folder. C drive mein, users mein, your username, in that you will find it here. Node -z ZYP here 8.9.4, which is the version I have. Config file, npm file. Maybe it's not showing here. Here it will have a node modules, and here it's going to install your global packages. And from there, it's going to it will check for the global packages first. If it is not this one, this line will check the global packages. If it is not there, then it will check for the local packages. If local package is also not found, then it will throw an error. That means your file system is not installed. Something like that. Okay. This is what reading a file. So you can ask me another question. So till now everything is clear, right, guys? Any questions? Can I get a small message? Thanks, Rakesh. Okay. So let us take example. If I have file, this file having only, let me go back. This file having very little content, right? Very little content. So what I'll do is the HTML, if I go there and I can say that, what is into text? Okay, I'm just taking some text like this. Yeah, and adding more lines. Now save it. Now see what is the file size. You have 69 KB. Previously it is 1 KB. Now it is 69. Maybe in a real time you may use a more number of code, more number of data. Now it is 101 KB. If it is a GBs, how you are going to read that file? Right? There is also one of the challenge when you are going to work with this type of programming. So if you see read file now, let me try to execute this read file. Okay, now I'm going to run this program. It's displayed. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to display entire code. There is something is missed, or it may take some time to execute. Read that file and shows the output. It will take too much of time because it is 101 KB, like 1 GB or something else. Then how you're going to achieve that is using a streams concept. You have a concept called streams in Node.js. Streams. Okay, so streams are an object. Okay, that is going to let's read the data from a file or a source. Okay, if you can read it or write the data, anything is possible. Okay, to a destination in a continuous fashion. Streaming, you know, right? If I'm going to open Google, I mean YouTube, and I'm trying to run some videos, every second it's going to stream the data. That means you're not getting any strucking in your video. You're going to see the continue video without any buffering. So that is what streaming. So in this, I'm going to use in the Node.js, we are going to use that streaming concept when you're going to work with a huge number of data. Okay, so streams in Node.js, there are 4 types of streams, basically. Okay, first one is readable. You can read it. Readable. Okay. Second one is writable. You can write it. Third one is duplex. Okay. Fourth one is transform. These are the streams in Node.js. 4 types of streams. Okay, readable, we know that stream is going to be used for read the operation. Writable means is used to write the operations. So something if you want to write, you can write it down. So duplex means used to both read or write operations. Okay, duplex means it's going to do the both readable and writable. And coming to the transform, it is a type of a duplex stream. The duplex and the transform will be same, but output is computed based on the input. Based on the input, it's going to shows the output. We'll see one by one. Okay. So previously we worked with the event emitter, right? Now we will get in some concept called event emitter. We'll see. So each type of stream, it can be a readable, writable, duplex, or transform. Okay, this type is an event emitter. Readable is an event emitter. Writable is an event emitter. That means it is a customized events which is created by streams concept. Got my point? Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm trying to use where I'm not going to install any package. I'm going to use reader as we are using streams, str. Okay, I'll write stream stream. Okay, reader stream is equal to file system mein you have. I'm going to create a readable stream here. Create read stream. Okay, of which file you want to read the stream. I want to use this file. I'm going to create a stream for this file. Okay, read the data. Okay, and I want to set the encoding format. Once you read the data, we need to encode that format, right? That will be in a UTF-8 encoding format. So, I'm sorry, this one, reader stream. Okay, I'm going to use dot set encoding. I'm going to encoding the data to UTF-8. UTF-8 universal code. Okay, that means here we have created a stream, readable stream. We created a readable stream, and here we set the data encoding. UTF-8 format. UTF-8 format means US English. Whatever the language you are taking, it will be in a nice format. Okay. Now I'm going to use handle that event and get the data. So what I can do is reading stream, reader stream. Okay. Dot on. This is an event emitter. Dot data. It started reading that file. It's getting the data from that file. On data, okay, I'm going to write a function. In this function, I'm going to use some, what do you call, parameter called chunk. Chunk means piece of code, piece of data. Okay, so I'm going to take a global variable where data is equal to, let us take an empty string. Okay, now once this readable stream is going to start to read the data, we are getting a chance. Now, what I can do is data concatenating with chunk. Getting my point? You can stop this. You don't need to work on this. So let me explain you again. So here, line number 5, we are creating a stream, readable stream for a file to read that file, okay, and get the data. And line number 8, we are setting the URL encoded format. And line number 10, once this readable starts that file reading and it's sending a data to me, then immediately what we did on data, when we are coming a data, we are getting a chunks here. Chunks means piece of code. So it will be 1 GB data, right? It's going to divide 50 MB data, 50, not 50 MB, 50 KB, 50 KB, 50, like that. It's going to read entire file and it's going to send 50 KB of data. Then it's going to store inside the data variable. Okay, now I'm going to write another event emitter like reader stream dot on end. Everything is done, and finally the readable stream is going to be ended. Then I'm going to write console.log of data. So here on retrieving data, we are updating the data variable. Once you retrieve it, I'm just console log of data. Guys, clear about this program? What I did? Stream is ending. Okay, this is when stream is started reading data. That's it. Okay. Now let me try to run this. Node.js file system, correct. You got the data. Now try to write it. Okay. What I can do is, you want to see the chunks. So what I can do, fs dot for writing a file, write file of, not write file, I can create file of, let me take a count. Okay, I'm just trying to show you the chunks where I'm just taking count is equal to, initially it is a 0, let us make 1. Okay, and here create file, I'm going to take where file underscore, sorry, file name is equal to name underscore, okay, and just adding, name will be in a string, and here I'm going to add the count plus count, and finally once it's created, I'm going to use count plus plus and create file. File name is, and you can add count plus dot .txt. Else you can say chunk instead of name, chunk underscore count. Okay. Now create file of file name. Okay, comma function of, I'm going to pass error, and I'm going to say if err throw err. That's it. Console.log of file created. Simple. Then what I'm trying to do here, when this readable stream is going to start, okay, then I'm creating a variable with a count. That means how many chunks you are getting, and what I'm trying to do, trying to get how many chunks we are creating. Okay, not we are creating, the readable stream is creating. Okay, so this is the file name. So chunk underscore is a default string which I mentioned. .txt is an extension I mentioned. But count, I taken a count as one. Okay, then once a file is created with that file name, I'm incrementing the count. Then what will happen? Second readable may count is incremented. Now count is 2, count is 3. Like that, how many chunks you are getting? All the chunks is going to be displayed here. Let's try. You got that. Let's dot create file. Let me check what is it. Create file. Create file, not file. Write file, I guess. Read file, and append file is okay. This is open. Write file. Sorry. Go back and instead of create file, make it write file. Now you got it. Now go to the folder. Day 3. See, we got 2 chunks. Chunk underscore 1, chunk underscore 2. This is 1 KB. This is 1 KB. So each chunk, if you open, oh, you got this folder. I'll create it. So chunk underscore may. I need to pass the data, right? So write, and I think I need to write the file name with the data comma function. Let me try it again. File created 2 times. Yeah, but chunk 1 is 0, chunk 2 is 64 KB. What happened? Let me remove this. Chunk 1 is giving. I think we need to update chunk. Each chunk I want. Small programmatical error. Right? You got 64 KB, 37 KB. Each chunk. Then what is the count? 64 plus 37? 90, 101. So what is the main program KB? 101. Each chunk is going to have this data. Got it? So I'm writing a file. This is for, I can say, creating a chunks file. And here we are passing 2 parameters. One is a file name, another one is the data which you want to write it for the inside this file. Clear? Readable stream. Guys, clear? Any questions? Can I get a message? Kavya, Rakesh, Saujanya. Okay, thanks, Kavya. Rakesh Garu and Saujanya Garu. Okay. Okay, cool. What are the rest of the people? Okay, so this is what readable stream is going to do. So like this, even if you can manage with, let us take, okay, is chunk in writing file function default argument? Nah, chunk, okay. Let me show you normal writable functions there, so you will get an idea. So when you're going to create a writable writing file, right? So first one is your file name. So something like I can say test.txt, test.txt, and the next one is the message what you want to write inside the test.txt file name. So I can say hello. This is a test file simply. Then what will happen? This fs.write file will execute, right? It's going to create a file name called test.txt, and inside you have this content. Okay. So now what happened here is actually what I'm trying to do. Chunk may you're getting when your variable stream may it's reading that entire file. Okay, samples input.txt. Inside it's going to get a chunk, that means piece of content. That content I'm passing to this writable file. Then what will happen? It's creating a file and it's updating the chunk data into that file. So second time when the readable stream again triggers it, so next chunk is going to get it. Got it, Rakesh garu? అంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక ఫైల్లో ఉన్న కోడ్ ని ఒకేసారి రీడ్ చేయకుండా హాఫ్ ఆఫ్ రీడ్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. సో హాఫ్ ఆఫ్ అంటే పీసెస్ గా రీడ్ చేస్తుంది. పీసెస్ గా రీడ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఒక పీస్ ని చంక్ అంటున్నాం, ఆ చంకే ఇక్కడ గెట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. సో నేను ఆ చంక్ కరెక్ట్ గా వచ్చింది, console.log పెడితే నాకు క్లారిటీ లేదు మనకి, చూసారా? సో దానికోసం నేనేం చేశానంటే ఒక ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ యూజ్ చేసుకుని ఒక ఫైల్ ని క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా నేను ఒకటే ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసి అర్థమాట ఇదే డేటాని అప్డేట్ చేస్తున్నా, నాకు రిజల్ట్ తెలియదు. కాబట్టి ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఏం చేశానంటే ఒక కౌంట్ తీసుకుని డైనమిక్ గా ఫైల్ నేమ్ అనేది నేను క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాను. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఫస్ట్ చంక్ కి 1 అవుతుంది, సెకండ్ చంక్ కి 2. ఇఫ్ యూర్ ఇంక్రీజింగ్ మోర్ కంటెంట్ దెన్ ఆటోమేటికల్ ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ టు ఇంక్రీజ్ యువర్ చంక్స్. ఎన్ని చంక్స్ అయితే రీడ్ అవుతున్నాయో అన్ని చంక్స్ ని నేను క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాను విడివిడిగా ఫైల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఈచ్ చంక్ లోకి ఏ డేటా అయితే వచ్చిందో ఆ చంక్ డేటాని రైట్ చేస్తాను అనమాట. అండ్ ఫైనల్ గా కౌంట్ ప్లస్ ప్లస్. అలాగే ఫస్ట్ రీడబుల్ స్ట్రీమ్ లోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు కౌంట్ 0, కౌంట్ 1. ఫస్ట్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అయిపోయింది, సెకండ్ టైం మళ్ళీ రీడబుల్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యింది సెకండ్ చంక్ కోసం, అప్పుడు కౌంట్ ప్లస్ ప్లస్ అయింది ఆల్రెడీ. సో కౌంట్ కాస్త 2 అయింది. ఓకే, ఇంకొక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బాగుండాలంటే ఈ ఇన్పుట్ టెక్స్ట్ ఉంది కదా, దీంట్లో ఉన్న డేటా నేను మోర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ డేటాని అప్డేట్ చేశాను. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒక్కసారి ఫైల్ సైజ్ చూద్దాం. నా శాంపిల్స్ లో ఇన్పుట్ ఫైల్ సైజ్ ఉంటుంది 505 KB ఉందండి. ఓకే, నా ట్రై టు రన్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. 3 ఫైల్స్ క్రియేట్ అయినాయి. ఓకే, 3 ఫైల్స్. Now go back to day 3. See, అంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి let me delete everything and then run it again. Okay, node.js files. Now see, you got 8 chunks create అయినాయి, అంటే 8 times మీకు chunks create అయినాయి. ఈచ్ చంక్ లో మీకు ఎంతవరకు చంక్ వచ్చిందో ఆ చంక్ ని మీకు ఫస్ట్ chunk, second chunk, third chunk, each chunk is going to take care of 64 KB. Clear ending? Okay, clear. Next. So this is what readable, and this is a writing file. It is a writable file. Okay, this is a write file. We are not using a stream here. ఇక్కడ మనం use చేసిన stream. In the same way, if you want to use a writable stream, that means if you want to write the data, so again we need to create a, here we created a read stream, something like that we need to create a write stream. Okay, I think most of the people dropped off. Okay, okay, next. ఇంకొక ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేద్దామా? Let's close this. Yeah, before that, just give me a second. So fine, reading file చూసాం, writing file చూసాం. But now what I want to do, writing a file we can do in a different way also. Yeah, Rakesh garu ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్ ఉందా? So writing a file, you can use another method called fs.append file. Okay, I'm going to take something like sam.txt comma function of, okay, append together. I need to write file, and I'm going to write something like message, hello, this is Sai. Okay, and if you have, you can pass an error, and you can write if error throws error. Okay, if you want, put a console.log just for checking అంటే ఈ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ వర్కౌట్ అయ్యిందా లేదా చేయడానికి. I'm just seeing console.log of appended. Okay, now go back. I'm going to use this. Okay, hello, this is Sai. I need to put a comma. It's created file. Now see, you may have sam.txt, and if you open, you got hello, this is Sai. Now go back. Let me close this. Go back to the program, and ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తానంటే I'm just trying updating that from India. That's it. I just added from India, something like that, and then clear it and then run it. Now go back to your page, open your SAM, see, hello, this is Sai is there, and from India is also there. That means it's concatenating. Okay, write a file అన్నప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తుందంటే కొత్త ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది. It's going to create a new file, and it's going to overwrite the entire data which is we have previously. But here in an append file, it's not going to overwrite. It's going to append the data. Previous data అలా ఉంచి కొత్త data ని append చేస్తుంది. That is what append file is going to do. Okay. So that is what different. So append file is nothing but appending data to previous data. I'm coming to write file, creating a file and updating the data. Creating a new file, I can say. That is what create and this file. Okay. Now, if you want to delete some files, I want to delete a file. And sir, this is normally I'm creating a file, right? But if you want to create in a directory, you need to mention the path. That's it. Make a directory kavalante just a path mention cheyandi saripotundi. So if you want to delete some files, so I can use fs dot unlinked. Okay, of the file name. Which file name you want to delete? I want to delete sam.txt. Okay, and I'm just taking some ఇది common ఇంకా function error and if error throw error. If error throw error, and I'm going to say console.log of I'm sorry, file deleted. File deleted. Okay, I'm just running it. Sam create ayindi. Again, it will delete. You didn't find a Sam here because it's deleted using unlink function. Here, this is what file stream is going to do. Reading a file, writing a file, appending a file, and deleting a file. Right? So this is normal examples in the 1 minute. So going forward, we are going to interact with the front page, right? So automatically we are going to use this. Suppose front end lo ichina data ni oka input field lo ichina data ni meer retrieve chesuకుంటూ file create చేసి అందులో స్టోర్ చేయొచ్చు data. అలాంటి ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ అన్ని కూడా చూపిస్తాం మీకు. Any questions till now? Thanks. Thank you, Andy. So let's wind up the session here, Andy. So we'll meet tomorrow.